I used to kill every single broccoli plant I grew. Yellow leaves, tiny heads the size of golf balls, or worse, plants that just bolted straight to flower before I got anything. I wasted money, I wasted time, and honestly, I almost gave up on broccoli completely. But then I discovered the 12 mistakes I was making, and once I fixed them, everything changed. Today, I'm revealing the 12 most common broccoli mistakes ruining harvests, and exactly how to avoid them in 2026 for your biggest, most perfect heads ever. Welcome to Plantify Daily, where we grow smarter gardens together. Here's the truth about broccoli: it's one of the most rewarding crops you can grow, but it's also incredibly sensitive. Get just one or two things wrong, and you'll end up frustrated with nothing to harvest. But here's the good news. We'll go through each mistake, why it happens, and the simple fix so you can grow flawless broccoli this year. Let's count down from number 12 to the single biggest broccoli killer at number 1. Mistake number 12: starting seeds in conditions that are too warm. I see this constantly. You're excited, it's early spring, and you start your broccoli seeds indoors where it's nice and cozy. But here's the problem: broccoli is a cool season crop that actually prefers cooler germination temperatures, ideally between 60 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. When you start them in a warm room at 75 or 80 degrees, the seedlings get leggy, weak, and stressed from day one. They never recover properly. The fix: start your seeds in a cooler spot. A basement, garage, or unheated room works great. Or wait in direct sow outdoors when soil temps are right. Your seedlings will be stockier, stronger, and ready to thrive. Mistake 11: choosing the wrong broccoli variety for your climate. Not all broccoli is created equal. Some varieties thrive in short, cool springs. Others need longer growing seasons. And if you're in a hot climate and pick a slow-maturing variety, you're setting yourself up for disaster. The damage: your plants bolt before forming heads, or the heads are loose and bitter. This one surprised me when I first learned it. The fix is simple: read your seed packets carefully. If you have hot summers, choose fast-maturing varieties like Desico or Calabrese that mature in 50 to 60 days. Cool climate gardeners can grow larger varieties like Belstar or Marathon. Match the variety to your zone and you're already ahead of the game. Mistake 10: planting at the wrong time of year. Timing is everything with broccoli, and this mistake destroys more harvests than almost anything else. Plant too late in spring, and your broccoli hits summer heat before it's ready. Plant too early in fall, and it doesn't mature before the hard freeze. Broccoli needs consistent cool weather, ideally temperatures between 60 and 70 degrees, during head formation. Here's your fix: in most climates, you'll want to transplant seedlings in early to mid-spring for a late spring harvest, or in mid to late summer for a fall harvest. Count backward from your first frost date and give yourself at least 70 to 100 days depending on variety. Get the timing right and everything else gets easier. Mistake 9: overcrowding plants in the garden bed. I get it, you want to maximize your space. But when you cram broccoli plants closer than 18 inches apart, they compete for nutrients, water, and sunlight. The result: stunted growth and tiny, disappointing heads. Broccoli needs room for its roots to spread and its leaves to capture maximum sunlight. Each plant needs at least 18 to 24 inches of space in all directions. The fix: space your transplants properly from the start. Yes, the bed will look empty at first, but in a few weeks those plants will fill in beautifully, and your heads will be 2 to 3 times larger. Trust the spacing, it pays off big time. Mistake 8: inconsistent or improper watering. Broccoli is thirsty, it has shallow roots and needs consistent moisture throughout its life. Let the soil dry out repeatedly and you'll stress the plant. Overwater and you risk root rot and disease. Inconsistent watering also leads to bitter, tough heads and sometimes premature bolting. This is one of those silent killers that sneaks up on you. The fix: water deeply 2 to 3 times per week, keeping the top few inches of soil consistently moist but not soggy. Mulch around your plants to retain moisture and regulate soil temperature. A simple soaker hose or drip irrigation makes this almost automatic. Keep it consistent, and your broccoli will reward you with tender, sweet heads. Mistake 7. Harvesting too late or too early. Timing your harvest is an art. Wait too long, and the tight green buds start to loosen and turn yellow as they flower. The flavor becomes bitter, and the texture gets woody. You've basically missed your window. Harvest too early, and the heads are undersized and underdeveloped. Here's your fix: harvest when the head is firm, tight, and deep green, usually 4 to 7 inches in diameter depending on variety. The buds should still be compact, with no sign of yellow flowers opening. Cut the main head at an angle in the morning when it's cool, and leave the plant in the ground. Pro tip: after you harvest the main head, the plant will produce delicious side shoots for weeks. Most gardeners don't know this and pull the plant too early. Mistake 6. Ignoring soil pH and nutrient balance. Broccoli is a heavy feeder. It demands nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and especially calcium and boron. And it prefers slightly acidic to neutral soil, ideally a pH of 6 to 7. Get your soil wrong and you'll see yellowing leaves, hollow stems, poor head development, and increased disease. I've watched gardeners do everything else right and still fail because they skipped this step. The fix: test your soil before planting, amend with compost and a balanced organic fertilizer. Add lime if your soil is too acidic, sulfur if it's too alkaline. Side dress with compost or fish emulsion halfway through the season. Feed your soil and your broccoli will thrive. Mistake 5. Skipping crop rotation or proper bed preparation. Broccoli is part of the brassica family along with cabbage, kale, and cauliflower. If you plant brassicas in the same spot year after year, you're inviting clubroot, black rot, and a buildup of pests. This is one of those mistakes that gets worse over time. By year 3, your soil can be so depleted and disease-ridden that nothing grows well. The fix: rotate your brassicas to a different bed each year. Wait at least 3 years before planting them in the same spot again. Before planting, work in plenty of compost and organic matter to rebuild soil structure. Good bed prep sets the foundation for a monster harvest. Mistake 4. Not protecting against common pests early enough. Cabbage worms, aphids, flea beetles, they all love broccoli as much as you do. And by the time you notice the damage, it's often too late. I've seen entire crops destroyed in a week. These pests weaken plants, spread disease, and ruin heads before harvest. Here's your fix: start protecting your plants the day you transplant them. Use floating row covers to create a physical barrier. Inspect plants weekly for eggs and larvae. Handpick pests, spray with organic BT, that's Bacillus thuringiensis, for caterpillars, or use insecticidal soap for aphids. Prevention is 10 times easier than cure. Protect early and you'll avoid 90% of pest problems. Mistake 3. Exposing plants to prolonged heat or stress. Broccoli shuts down in the heat. When temperatures consistently hit 80 degrees or higher, the plant thinks it's the end of the season. Growth slows, heads form poorly or not at all, and the plant rushes to bolt and set seed. This is heartbreaking to watch. You've done everything right, but a sudden heat wave ruins everything. Your fix: provide afternoon shade during unexpected heat waves using shade cloth or plant taller crops nearby. Mulch heavily to keep roots cool. Water more frequently. And most importantly, time your plantings so your broccoli matures during the coolest parts of the season. You can't control the weather, but you can work around it. Mistake 2. Poor seedling care leading to weak transplants. You wouldn't believe how many broccoli failures start at the seedling stage. Leggy seedlings, root-bound transplants, seedlings that weren't hardened off, these plants never catch up. They go into the garden already stressed, and they stay small, weak, and vulnerable to disease and pests for their entire life. It's like starting a race with a broken leg. Here's the fix: give seedlings plenty of light, use grow lights if needed, keep them cool, not warm. Water from the bottom to encourage strong roots. Before transplanting, harden them off gradually over 7 to 10 days. And transplant on a cloudy day or in the evening to minimize shock. Strong seedlings become strong plants. Start them right and everything else flows. And here it is, mistake number 1, the absolute biggest broccoli killer: allowing plants to bolt before head formation. Bolting is when the plant sends up a flowering stalk before producing a head. And once it bolts, game over. No head, no harvest, just flowers and bitterness. Bolting happens when broccoli experiences stress, heat, inconsistent watering, transplant shock, or simply being planted at the wrong time. It's the culmination of all the other mistakes we've covered. The fix: prevent stress at every stage. Choose the right variety, plant at the right time, water consistently, keep plants cool, and start with strong transplants. Bolt prevention is about creating a stress-free environment from seed to harvest. So there you have it, the 12 mistakes that destroy broccoli harvests. The top 3: weak seedlings, heat stress, and bolting. Fix these in 2026, and you'll be harvesting massive, sweet broccoli heads all season long. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these mistakes have you made before? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone and I'll help you troubleshoot. If you want more daily plant tips to level up your garden, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We're here every day with practical advice to help you grow your best garden yet. See you tomorrow on Plantify Daily.